This is to help you review for your atomic theory and atomic structure test. So remember that there are three parts to the atom. We have the proton, the neutron, and the electron. The electric charge for the proton is positive. Neutrons have zero charge, or they're neutral, and electrons are negative. Protons and neutrons are located in the nucleus, or the central core of the atom, and electrons are located in energy levels or orbitals around the outside of the nucleus. We then learned about dissecting, or looking at the different pieces to the atom, so we can predict the structure of any atom or isotope. There's an example that has been given for you. I will work through one here. So we have an element with atomic number 2. If we look back here at the top, we see that atomic number is equivalent to the number of protons. So we know that this atom has 2 protons. It is also equal to the number of electrons. So we can go ahead and fill that in too. Now we need to find the element's name. Well, if we know the atomic number is 2, it's going to be the top number on the periodic table. So if I go to my periodic table, I find out that that is helium. Now we have to find out the mass number. Well, mass is equal to the number of protons and neutrons in an atom. So I take 2 plus 2, and I get a total mass of 4. To do the symbol, we're going to take He, which is the symbol for helium. The atomic number goes on the bottom, 2, and the atomic mass goes on the top, 4. I'll work through one more, and then you will be on your own. For the next one, we know the number of protons is 3. Remember that the atomic number is equal to the number of protons, so we're going to assume that that number is 3. This is also equal to the number of electrons. We go to our periodic table and we find out that the atomic number 3 corresponds with lithium. The last thing we need to do is find the number of neutrons. So here I don't have the number of neutrons. I have to take my mass and I subtract the number of protons. So I'm going to take 7 minus 3 to get 4. And then our symbol will be Li, atomic number 3, and then mass 7. You can continue working using these examples. On the next page, they ask you to draw a Bohr model and Lewis structure for different elements. Well, the first thing you have to do is to figure out the number of protons, neutrons, and electrons in each of these elements. So hydrogen, if I draw the nucleus, hydrogen is number 1 on the periodic table, so it has 1 proton. Hydrogen has an atomic mass of 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. It has 0 neutrons. Hydrogen has 1 electron to correspond with the 1 proton. So we're going to draw 1 ring and put 1 dot. And then we're done. Valence electrons, VE, stands for valence electrons. Well, it only has 1 electron, so it has 1 valence. Valence electrons are the electrons in the very outermost shell. We practiced this activity in class when we did our element cards. Moving on in the packet, you're going to go to some review of the atom. So they're going to give this first page gives you some examples. And then you have a practice question where you're going to look at a nucleus and figure out what elements these are. So if I look at this nucleus, I see that it has 1, 2, 3 protons and 1, 2, 3, 4 neutrons. So we need to figure out what element this is. If it has 3 protons, it has an atomic number of 3, so that is going to be lithium. And then how many electrons does this neutral atom have? It would have 3 electrons, because 3 positives would balance with 3 negatives. And the mass number. Well, the mass number is the total number of dots or circles in the nucleus. So 3 plus 4 would be 7. Then you have some questions about isotopes. How many protons and neutrons are in the nucleus of each isotope? So hydrogen 2. This 2 represents the mass. Scandium 45. The 45 represents the mass. So for hydrogen, we know the mass is 2. We're going to subtract 1, which is the atomic number, and we get 1 neutron. Hydrogen always has 1 proton, so it's 1 neutron and 1 proton. The next page is about isotopes. You're going to look at the diagram and answer some questions. So what is the atomic number I'm going to look at number 2. What is the atomic number for this element? Well, we'll look at, I see 1p, 2p's, 3p's. So if it has 3 protons, it's going to be lithium. What is the name of this element? Lithium. What is the mass number? We're going to go and count everything in the nucleus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then we write our notation. Lithium, 3, 7 on top. And then you'll continue with answering questions about isotopes. The final page is just a reading on some scientists that made some important discoveries with the atom.